I done heard some ridiculous things in my life. Outright outlandish, absurd inclinations, information. But this has to be the most ridiculous thing I have ever seen, have ever heard. Joe Biden, the so-called president of the United States, is planning to pay Africa reparations for slavery, the continent of Africa, in the amount of $55 billion. In African money, that's about $20 trillion because of what happened to our ancestors. Also, what happened to us post antebellum slavery, Jim Crow, even to this very day, post civil rights. We still being brutalized, economically incarcerated, economically annihilated. They call it economic apartheid. That's still going on in 2022. And Joe Biden is bypassing that as though we're the shining example of the world. Somehow black America is such a success. Our communities are crumbling. Gary, Indiana, Flint, Michigan, the south side of Chicago, all throughout the United States is in shambles. Joe Biden is talking about paying Africa 55 billion American dollars for what happened to my ancestors during slavery, in which allegedly the Africans participated and profited from our enslavement. And Africa has never done anything for our people. They have not provided us any land, any resources, any support, any citizenship, nothing. They don't even consider us Africans, yet they get to be the first ones to get slavery reparations from America. Watch this ridiculousness. Watch this foolery.
Joe Biden just announced $55 billion in reparations for Africa.
The stolen men and women and children were brought to our shores in chains, subjected to unimaginable cruelty. My nation's original sin was that period. We honor their descendants who are generations have for generations helped build this country.
Are the Dutch chipping in? What about?
Obviously, somebody wrote that for Biden. He hesitated to read that they helped build this country. For 55 years, Biden has talked about his family, men like his father built this country. But the Democrats are struggling desperately to try to keep relevance. The Hispanics that they brought in by the millions all are Republicans. The neglected blacks, their base, their backbone, who they gave nothing to, they're trying to appease the Negro. They just voted a black man, whatever his name is, to be the head of the Democrats in Congress, in the House of Republicans. The Speaker of the House on the Democrat minority is a so-called black man. After the Republicans took over Congress, you want to appease and beg the blacks, and now giving us nothing. You want to. Biden is such a devil. Instead of saying we're gonna give the black Americans $55 billion as a start to help rebuild these communities, rebuild these households, help revitalize these business districts that they have destroyed, Black Wall Streets, all this economic apartheid, the disproportionate amount of white CEOs, Jew CEOs in relation to blacks. No, he's talking about paying Africa, the traitors, the ones who betrayed our people, reparations. And I think this is ridiculous, and I'm surprised that Fox News is a conservative channel, but I guess the black media on YouTube, they don't really watch Fox News. They probably just watch liberal CNN because only Fox News report on stuff like this. But I haven't seen any black YouTuber report on Africa getting reparations from Biden. But I had a conversation with someone today how being black in America has always been a crime. Before the Civil War and the Emancipation Proclamation, it was overt that if you was black, it was a crime. You could be enslaved, you could be thrown in jail, you could be killed just for being black. And then when Lincoln was a president, a lawyer before he became president, he used to defend blacks, saying that they was actually Moors. He said it's true that it's a crime to be a Negro, but it's not a crime to be a Moor. And they called Lincoln Abraham Africanus because they had him depicted because he was defending these blacks, calling them Moors in court, saying that they had rights and they weren't Negroes because it was a crime to be a Negro. And it has not changed. This is what racial profiling is. When you walk into a store or if the police pull you over, they're going to assume that a crime has happened and they're going to search the car, searching for drugs, guns. And then if they don't find it, they might just plant it on you. But it's not the fact that they suspect a crime happened. They know the crime did happen. You are black. They're going to just find a probable cause to throw you in jail for being black. What happened to Sandra Bland? She got killed over fell into a signal, slammed on her head, a black woman watching. Also what happened to George Floyd. He got choked out and they say, oh, it's because of a $20 bill. No, it was because he was black. The crime was being black. And it hasn't changed. You know, we still criminals. You know, it has not changed. Even the so-called black people, when they look at you, they don't know what you did, but they know you did something. And they're going to try to find something wrong with you. You know, they're going to try to justify their suspicions that a crime has occurred. But really, psychologically, subconsciously, the crime did occur, you being a black man. You know, and what's happening to Kanye West, how he's being persecuted because of his opinion, and how the black leadership is silent about it. The whole black community is silent, letting this happen, letting the Jews, I wouldn't say, yeah, buck break, Willie Lynch style, where everybody's in frozen silence, as though this is not happening to you. This is happening to you. I see Earn Your Leisure with Robert Griffin. What's his name? So-called black man, Robert something. Talking about he's still the richest black man in the world, chuckling because of what happened to Kanye West. It's happened to you. It happened to all of you. And you all are spineless. We have no leadership. Because we had a leadership, they would have got together and prevented this from happening to Kanye West. But a whole entire black community, all the religious apparatus, the political, everybody was silent while the Jews are lynching this dude economically. And that's very eye-opening. And they're silent about Joe Biden paying reparations to Africa for allegedly enslaving. It might not even be true. But him actually giving the money to Africa, 50 billion American dollars is probably 10, 20 trillion dollars to Africa. You could rebuild the whole country with that. That's all I gotta say though. I know you're not gonna go to my website. I've been telling you to go to my website, support my books, but you don't do it. You know, it is what it is. It's the fact that, you know, I'm a so-called Negro. That's all that matters, you know. I'm a so-called Negro and I don't deserve to be having anything. I don't deserve to be alive and whatnot. I deserve to be in prison. Like what happened to Young Thug. They're looking for a crime that he committed. Lock him up first and find the probable cause later, you know.